Good morning, CSL Simi Valley. I tell you, I was looking over at the band and I was thinking, I don't know how you feel about me saying this, but we're like the 49ers. I know we're Ram and Charger country, but they got a deep bench. And we got a deep bench. I mean, Sherry's gone, Carrie's here. Randy's gone, Saul is here, right? This is beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Oh, boy, okay. Don't blame me, blame God. That's where this inspiration came from. What do chickens do when they break their legs? They eat them. No, they get an X-ray. Okay, how does a sheep get to the hospital? By ambulance. Okay, why am I doing really bad dad jokes today? Why bad dad jokes today? Because some of us are now officially certified CPR, AED, first aid trainers. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you fall down and you can't get up, who's going to help you up? Stand up if you are now a certified AED trainer. Look at these people here, right? So you are safe. We can put a splint on you. Look, I mean, we can MacGyver that bad boy. See this little thing that comes off the top of your plastic containers? This and this stick, we could save your life. That's MacGyver stuff, man. I'm telling you. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. When we have round two, you definitely got to come and take advantage of that, because Herb and his wife, Lene, I called her Leanne all week, Lene, are just wonderful trainers, and we had a really good time for that. So really grateful for that. We got some stuff coming up this week. As always, it's the end of the month, which means the first Friday is on its way, and that means, boom, sound bath time. Yes. And we're going to bring back, Renee is going to be here with us on this Friday's sound bath, and we really want to up-level that. So tell your friends about it. All the people that are saying, I don't do the church thing. I don't think I want to go to church. Tell them to come to the sound bath. It's not church, but it's equally as healing and equally as fun. And then next month, after that gorgeous lady back there and I are going to team up together and do sound bath in November with Abby. So really good couple of months of that coming on. We got all kinds of other activities happening for you here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley. later on today, after the service, we'll be having a street fair planning meeting. And in order to bribe you to come to the street fair planning meeting, there'll be pizza. We're going to meet at noon in the classroom, to talk about how we're going to take ourselves out into the street fair. And it kind of coincides with our talk title, which I didn't even plan it this way. God did, I guess. And the talk title today is Taking It to the Streets. So as we talk about taking it to the streets, right, exactly. We're going to figure out how we can take the street fair to the street and what we need to do to spread the energy. Because for years, Dr. Susan carried the street fair like Atlas walking up the mountain. And we don't want to do it that way anymore. Not on one person. It's going to be on the entire center to support this. So come out for 15 or 20 minutes. It won't take long to just kind of go through what we need in order to support this wonderful activity that's happening on October 28th, Saturday, at the town center. And we got a great space up near the playscape for the kids. So it's a wonderful place where we get to be located. Yeah, that's where we were last year. Same place. Same place we were last year, right, which really works for us. And I think Travis will like it too, our resident Yoda who's back there. All right. So these are just some of the ways that we bring our vision and mission statement to life. We like to remind ourselves of it each week so that we can go out and live it throughout the week. And it goes like this. John, please. Here we go. We're community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God in gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do. We start with prayer, and we bring up Jon Newbill. Good to see you, John.
So join me in opening treatment. This is what I know. There is one power. This power is omnipotent, omniscient, and everywhere present. This is a power for change, a power for healing, and a power that each of us can use. Today, I declare an intention to take action as today's talk inspires us to take it to the street, to move forward and share all that is good and right with the world, and to inspire others to do the same. To create a world that works for everyone, not just with words, but with deeds. To create a world that works for everyone. To cultivate an awareness that recognizes what is lacking and moves quickly and efficiently to correct it. To comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable, so that all are working in harmony, creating a better world, not just for ourselves, but for our posterity. So we and future generations look back on this time and say, this is when it happened. This is when the world moved to be a little more heart-centered. This is when we took action to love every person we meet, sharing a loving kindness that envelops all in an ocean of love, peace, joy, trust, understanding. Grateful for knowing these words were true before they were spoken, that they represent a universal truth. I release my word into the law, as we say together, and so it is. And now, stand and sing.
This day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing day. This healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful friends, my wonderful
glad you're still here.
Me too.
You know, because you are an adult cosmic kid.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, and you really haven't let the kid thing go at all. You have not let the kid thing go at all.
Yeah.
Because
Since I was 5.
and one of your favorite hobbies is trains,
Yeah.
and the other one is going to Disneyland.
Yeah, or Walt Disney World. I've actually been there 3 times.
You've been
2
to
times this year.
Disney World 2 times already this year.
I'm going again at Christmas.
And going again at Christmas.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you grow up as a cosmic kid, which is why we want to have a cosmic kid program at this
and
center.
it seems to be starting to manifest because I noticed that we have one here today.
At our resident Yoda. And did you notice when you did your prayer too?
He was
That's true.
helpful.
Oh, we got Elena.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and look at there. Hey, young man, how you doing? And did you notice that Travis, at the moment of your prayer, you said there's just one life, that's life is God. He went like, yeah!
Yeah,
Yay!
Thank you for
Boom.
the help.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Back at you. As you were. Whatever you're doing, do that.
Okay. Time is affirmation time. I'll read it once, and then I'll invite you to read it with me. I know I cannot go back, for I stand at the origin of what is right and good. Together. I know I cannot go back, for I stand at the origin of what is right and good. So my reading today is from a book I know pretty well, Meditations on My Mountain, available in the library. Okay, but it seemed so appropriate for today's message, so I couldn't resist pulling from my book again. So it's entitled "I Move," and it was actually a treatment I wrote 12 years ago. From a place of serenity, I recognize the unimaginable magnificence of this world. I recognize that all is here for my good. I recognize that I am a creator of my good. I no longer sit idly by waiting. I move. I choose a direction. I focus on my good. I am now discerning. I am now confident in my direction. I am now not deterred by circumstance. I am peacefully certain of my place. I am willing to participate. I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to succeed, knowing that neither success nor failure is my master. I am aware that my work is to direct my life. My work is to focus my attention on a feeling of wholeness. I focus now. I know I am captain of my ship. I am able to direct my thoughts, attention, and energy in the direction of my dreams. And joy presents itself the moment I commit. So I swing wide the doors to my heart, my mind, and move forward undeterred by what appears as obstacles. Every rock I step over or around strengthens me. I am power and presence and knowledge expressing in, through, and as God. Nothing can stop me now, for I know how to direct my thoughts, and thus I know how my thoughts create my feelings, and absolutely know that where I have deep emotions and feelings, my world reflects those right back to me. So I move. I move to joy. I move to enthusiasm. I move in the direction of my increasing good on the spiral up to my amazing life. Grateful for this feeling, which I know has all the power of the universe within it, I release and let go. Truly know it is done. Thank you.
Hey, we welcome Karie Hillery into the house this morning.
You can sing along on this one. It's really simple. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Shalom. Peace. Shalom. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Shalom.
It's time for the gap, the God awareness place. And I am so excited today. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because this is the first time I've done the gap since we got this. Okay. Are we ready? And then and then Karie Hillery will bring us out with music. Here we go. 3 minutes. So I invite you to develop your own meditation practice. 3 minutes or 3 hours, whatever. Namaste.
Gonna open up my heart to the world around me. Share a smile with everyone I see. This is what I believe. What we give, we will receive. Gonna open up my heart. Gonna reach right out when somebody needs me. Listen to what that heart needs to share.
Karie Hillery, Soul Purpose Band. Lane Taylor representing the L's today. Beautiful. Stevie, that was such a sweet solo in the middle of that song. That was beautiful. I was drifting off, and in the middle of it, I was thinking, well, I'm going to make sure I clap at the end of the solo. And then you did it some more, and I was just like, whoa. Yeah. Wow. Taking it to the streets. 2004, Chicago, United Centers for Spiritual Living Annual Convention. The theme was taking it to the streets. Johnny Coleman was the keynote speaker. Chicago's in the house. If you don't know who Johnny Coleman is, Google. She's amazing. Amazing speaker. Just was eternal. She's now, internet. She's still around. So she's a very real person. There's no filter. So she stands up in front of the well-meaning Centers for Spiritual Living, then called United Center Church of Religious Science, who had this big convention about how we're going to change 100 million lives and all this stuff. And she gets up there and says, "Oh, I see your theme is taking it to the streets. Well, before you bring it to the streets, bring it to my street, what's your street look like?" And the whole room were like, ooh. And, really, sometimes our own street is not all that clean. But the beautiful thing about our teaching is that we know how to do a street sweeper cleaning with consciousness. We know how to clean our consciousness to get to that divine truth of who and what we really are, so that we can take ourselves cleanly out into the streets, so that when we get out into the rest of the world with all of its, we can do something about supporting it, helping uplift it that much more. And we have great examples. We don't talk a lot about this guy in our centers. We don't praise Jesus every week, but I do almost every Sunday. Actually, every Sunday, I put on my gospel praise music, and I play that tunes for my 30-minute drive out here, and I'm just all praised up. Yes, Lord, praise Jesus. This is wonderful. And it just makes me feel so good. And Ernest Holmes loved the guy. He loved the guy. Half the Science Mind textbook is the teachings of Jesus. He thought of him as the great example. And, when you think about it from that perspective, this guy hung out with the imperfect people. He hung out with folks who have those doubts and those insecurities, or either are put upon or maligned or not supported in the world, who needed a little extra hand up, The dude, he kissed lepers, okay? The guy hung out with the people that other people didn't want to hang out with. He hung out with the wrong crowd, so to speak. He was down on the corner with the winos going like, "Yo, have you heard the word today?" He was like, that's how he was. He went to the beach and did a big old grill. He was grilling fish down on the beach. And when they ran out of fish, he just grilled some more. It's just amazing. This guy was he was off the hook incredible. He rose up folks from the dead. Right? He took his stuff to the streets. But we get to do that because we are, like I say, he was the great example. We are that expression. We get to do that. He hung out with the ordinary and made the ordinary regular. He just made it life, whether it was hanging with the friends or multiplying food or what he did some amazing things with water. First off, he washed all his disciples' feet. What kind of humility is that, right? And then when he's hanging out at the wedding, he said, "Hey, you know what? We're out of wine. Don't worry about it. Pour this water in there. They'll like it." It turned out to be the best wine at the party, And then think about that, too. The party he was at, this wedding, was the aristocracy at that wedding. This was so he's hanging out with the rich folk and the poor folk. He bridged the gap between the chairman of the board and the guy that's working on the factory line. This is the kind of thing we can do ourselves, because he did say that you shall do greater things than I. And if we are the expression of the only thing that is, which is God, and if he was the expression of the only thing that is God, and you are that too, then you get to do the greater things. We are the ones that get to do the greater things. It's time to take it to the streets, you see. We must learn to move into that space where we move beyond the secrets that we hold about ourselves. And sometimes we're walking around carrying secrets we don't want to speak about, carrying doubts about ourselves we don't want to share. sometimes not even able to look our own selves in the mirror because we have not told ourselves the truth about who and what we really are. We're not grasping the unseen possibilities that are a part of who and what we are. That we sometimes fight for our limitations. I was telling somebody the other day about what a great person they were and how much talent they had and what great skills they had. And they just were like, well, I don't know. But I can't do this. And I said, oh, but you can. You've even done it. Look at how you've shown up in this way and that way. And they go, well, yeah, but that was just luck. No, it wasn't. It was your skill set. People fight to hold on to the limitations because for some reason, taking who we are, our gifts out into the world is frightening. I mean, I went through that at a time in my life years ago. I had an opportunity to go and be the the host for some TV show. I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. Turned out to be win, lose, or draw. Yes. Bert Convey said, hey, man, I want you to do this show for me. Bert Convey himself said, I want you to do this show for me. And I was like, I went home, and my body was like, oh. That level of success freaked me out. I didn't step into it. We all have these opportunities where we just don't want to. We say no to our illumination. Little did I know that Spirit had some other plans for me to allow me to do another way of illumination. And I must say, I have no doubts or fears or anything about what I'm doing now. And when you step into that space for whatever it is for you, you will have no doubts or fears about who you are to be. You'll just go out and do it. You'll wake up in the morning excited to do it. I was here yesterday learning how to do the boom, the boom, the boom. Taken to the streets. No, what's the song? La, da, la, yeah, staying alive, staying alive. Ah, 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 ah. I was so into it, the guy says you're breaking his ribs. But when you capture that part of you, when you step into that unseen possibility, when you step into the aliveness of who you are, you have so much energy, you can just keep going. You become the ever-ready bunny of spirit and walk out into the world, Even when we think we can't, sometimes we're still called. Nadia Bowles-Weber, have you ever read any of her books, Patriots or Accidental Saints? She's an amazing Lutheran minister, tattooed. She's wild. She says that sometimes the fact that there is nothing about you that makes you the right person to do something is exactly what God is looking for. Sometimes you're sitting there going, oh, I can never do that. But it keeps coming at you. The whisper keeps happening. I can never do that, but the whisper keeps happening. God is looking just for that. He's looking just for that little amateur person that you think you are to be the expert that you really are, to step into your genius. See, we gotta be seen to walk the walk. You got to choose to be seen. That's the choice thing. You got to choose to sweep your street clean, you see. And there is this self-loving spirit that knows that each and every one of us is fertile ground for a higher unfoldment to take place. You think your life is good now. If you answer the things that you don't want to talk about or don't want to think about or don't want to do, if you step into that space, wow, it's like putting your life into hyperdrive. See, Spirit likes to use all of us. Use me, right? Likes to use all of us. Our gifts, our skills, and our apparent opposite traits. The ones that we don't want to look at. The ones we ignore. Because in truth, we're all kind of geniuses in germ. And it's as we focus ourselves on that calling, whatever it might be, as we step into a devoted activity of life and apply that balm of love and do those things that were in Karie's song, as we do that, we become that genius that we're supposed to be. There was this guy I read about this week. His name was George Hazel, and he had worked for oil companies and energy companies, and he grew up in Jamaica, in a really poor neighborhood in Jamaica, and had done really well, rose up in the corporate world and made a lot of money, and lived in Boca Raton, Florida, right, surrounded by a lot of money as well. And he noticed that despite all of his successes, he still was, his history, his past, gave him a zeroed-in awareness of what people needed and what people were not, what marginalized people were experiencing. So he gave a lot of his time and energy to a group called Boca Helping Hands. And then when he retired, he decided to give a little more time to it. And because of his corporate experience, when their executive director left, he said, I'll fill in the interim. They said, okay, that'd be really great if you'd fill in the interim, and we'll continue to do our search committee, and we'll look for someone to be the executive director while you're doing the job. Nah, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. He was this thing. He didn't think he was the right person for this because his experience was in the corporate world and energy and public utilities and that kind of stuff. He didn't think that feeding programs and all that would be his skill set, but he was exactly what God was looking for. It ended up to be the executive director of this thing for long term, and it's blown up, and now it's one of the largest nonprofits in Florida because of this guy who brought all his skill sets together to make this thing happen. You see? The possibilities that wait for us and the possibilities we answer for are the possibilities that will change us when we answer that. We will awaken an unbounded panorama of vistas that allows us to see something about ourselves that we never thought we could see before. If you write down on a piece of paper what your life's going to be like a year from now, and you fold that up and you put it in an envelope and send it to yourself a year later, but you answer these calls that I'm talking about, the stuff that's on that piece of paper will not be the life you're living. The life you're living will be better. It'll be bigger. It'll be richer. It'll be deeper. Because something's waiting for us, but we don't exactly know what that is. When the plant comes up out of the ground, it's not knowing what it's going to meet. It doesn't know whether it's going to have to grow past a bunch of bushes to get to the light, but it's going to go up to the light, and you'll go up to the light too. Nature is here to give us examples of how our life's going to be. Steph Swank, wonderful writer in Science of Mind magazine. Check out her column sometime. She says, the path out of darkness requires choosing to claim and be the light we each inherently are, especially in the face of seeming darkness. And sometimes the seeming darkness is the unconscious thoughts. They need to be cleaned up before we take our action out into the street. Sometimes the work is personal work that we need to do first before we can do the bigger work. And it's really good to do that personal work first because there is a paradox to taking your skills, your talents, and your abilities out into the streets, you see. When we go out to serve others, we're thinking we're doing this great thing, this selfless act. But it does help ourselves. We feel good. You feel good. That's great, right? We get to be the great example. We get to express the Christ being within us when we are also out there of service. But careful. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Danger, danger. Here comes volunteer. They think they're great. They're the superhero descending upon the planet, doing wonderful things for everybody, for those poor, unfortunate people. Whoa, careful. We can think that all these people we're serving are supporting characters to support our nobility and our greatness. But the truth is, we are not superheroes waiting to descend upon the planet. We should be out there like the Irish toast, Never above you, never below you, always beside you. Clink. Never above you, never below you, always beside you. Back to Nadia Bowles-Weber. We are all the needy. We are all the needy and the one who meets needs. To place ourselves above anyone else into only one category is to lie to ourselves. To think that anybody else only needs us to do whatever it is. To think that they're the ones. That's a lie to ourselves. We're the ones, too, because of the thing we've been talking about this month in our month of service and preparedness, that interconnectivity, that interdependency. Because of that, when the whole 12-step thing, a hand up and a hand down, this is how we are. It's not like just this alone. It's this. Because something is happening here and here. We're connected. And that's what we get to do, you see. We have to be careful when we're out there taking our services out into the street. We have to be careful that we are not taking our ego out there with us. That's one of those situations where, the ego's not your amigo in that situation. Right? But there is something really wonderful waiting for us when we take our gifts out there. There is something wonderful waiting in the streets. It's our greater yet to be. It's waiting to unfold. It's waiting to happen through us. The small, hapless self, so that slow self, that doubtful self is also a transcendent, radiant, glittering, brilliant, ding, brilliant self. Right? We get to choose to do that. We get to choose that because, as Dr. Holmes tells us, it is done unto us as we believe. As we believe. And when we do this kind of work, on ourselves and then share that with others, it lifts minds, all minds. And it elevates not just our faith, but other people's faith in humankind. Think about what George Hazel is doing for other people. When they see this guy roll up in his Benz or whatever high-profile vehicle he's driving, maybe he doesn't drive that. I don't know. This is my judgment, my story. But whatever he does, when he shows up in his wealth and shares his wealth with the world, it gives a certain faith for those people who've been thinking, nobody cares. Nobody gives a rat's butt about this. But then he does. He shows up. He does. So see, when we deeply listen to that call within, we hear a song of our being that lifts us up to a new space. It happened to another story I ran into this week. Natalie Fix. She worked at the City of Refuge in Atlanta. This is a shelter that supports women who are trying to escape sex trafficking, unwed mothers, young girls who are struggling through their adolescence and journey into womanhood. And so they can go to this City of Refuge and get support and get help. And she was doing a volunteer program there and was doing her thing with the PowerPoint and all that stuff. She noticed a woman sitting in the back, kind of had her head down, kind of hiding behind her scarf. And she felt called to go over to the lady. She walked over to her and she says, what's going on? Nobody cares about me. I care about you. No, nothing ever happens. My life is just, my life is going poorly. My teeth are bad. They've all fallen out. My hair is falling out because I've got cancer, and they gave me 6 months to live. And there's just no hope. I've lost it all. And Natalie says to her, well, you haven't lost your voice. What do you want? What do you want? Someone have a life like yours. And at this shelter, they gave people weekend passes. And this woman had a weekend pass. Her name turned out to be Wilma Raines. She had a weekend pass. And she said to Natalie, I want to come live a life like yours. And so Natalie went home and asked her two boys. She said, do you mind if I bring this woman from the shelter home for the weekend? And the boy said, no, that's okay, Mom. So she brought her home for the weekend. And they got talking. They got to find out they were both track stars in high school. And they had a lot of things in common. And it turned out that she had some extra money, Natalie did, and she was able to help Wilma get some dentures. And then because of the track thing, she says, you know what? They became friends. She says, you know what? I want to enter you in the Kick Cancer in the Face race. It's happening 6 months from now. She says, I'll be dead 6 months from now. Not if you enter this race, you won't. So she entered the race. She started training for the race. Her event was going to be the 100-yard dash. And Wilma ran the 100-yard dash and won the 100-yard dash in the Kick Cancer in the Face race. Then they became like buds. So then they went off to New York and had New York pizza. If they'd gone to Chicago, they would have had deep dish. They went to see a play. They had a great life together. And then 15 months later, Wilma made her transition. 15 months after the end of that race. 15 months after her end-of-date date that was given to her by her doctors. Sometimes what's waiting for us when we take our love and take our gifts out into the streets is an amazing activity that takes place in the life of ourselves and others. Her boys are uplifted by this. She was uplifted by this. She created a new program as a result of it. It's called the Purpose, the Great Purpose System. And she goes around now and she asks that question, kind of like Lucifer, like, what do you desire? But anybody? No, nobody knows that show. Don't worry about it. But she goes around and she asks people, like, what is it that you want? And then her organization goes out and tries to give that to people. Tama Keys really nails this when she says that The mountain that obstructs a caterpillar daunts not his winged incarnation. Right? That obstacle you think you can't get over, go toward it anyway. You can't get over it because maybe you're just in caterpillar phase. But as you go toward it, you become butterfly, and you fly right over it. You cannot be stopped when you use the stuff that's within you, this great power of spirit that is within us, that's calling us. So where are you going to stand? Right here. Where you stand is holy ground. Everywhere you stand is holy ground because it's all holy. Make your life sacred. Make your life an exquisite, beautiful experience. And it happens with as much as you accept that you believe. As much of this that I'm telling you as you accept for yourself as the truth for yourself will become the reality of yourself. And there's some ways we do to anchor that. We can anchor that in affirmations. Let's do some affirmations. Affirmations work. I like affirmations. Here we go. These are repeatable, so here we go. I believe that the law of good will bring everything desirable into my experience. How's that feel? Try this one on. Today I proclaim my divine inheritance. Try it again and actually claim it. Today I proclaim my divine inheritance. That's yours, you see. And why is it yours? I am rich with the richness of God. I am rich with the richness of God. I am strong with the power of God. I am strong with the power of God. I am guided by the wisdom of God. I am guided by the wisdom of God. I am held in the goodness of God today. One more time. Love that one. I am held in the goodness of God today. These kind of statements are the truth of who and what we really are. And Dr. Holmes tells us, he reminds us all the time. He says that there is something within you which is completely aware of its oneness with the power and its unity with all life. There is something within you that knows that those statements we just made are true about you. If you saw them and you were saying them, and you're like, oh, here we go, Reverend Stephen, more affirmations. I'm going to say them anyway. That's okay. That's okay. The seed was planted. Remember, genius is in the germ. Genius is in the beginning, just waiting to be germinated into the reality of that it being your experience. And then once that happens, boom, you can take it to the streets. And so it is. And thus you understand why I talk about why I'm standing. Because where you stand, that's holy ground, right? So, I know I cannot go back, for I stand at the origin of what is right and good. That's where we stand. Oh, yes. I guess the Jesus music worked today. I felt good. I feel connected. You should try it. Try it. Even if you don't like gospel music, just try it anyway. It's just like same thing with kirtan. It has that vibrational energy that really lifts up the spirit. You'll find yours. Maybe it's country music. Maybe it's blues. Maybe it's polka. Whoa, that's weird. If it is, I mean, whatever floats your boat. I'm just knowing it's all God. It's all God, however it shows up. I know, I always give polka music a hard time. I mean, I love all kinds of music. I have been trying for years. I just can't get behind the polka thing. I'm sorry. If you like it, if you got a hit polka, a polka hit. You got, figures John would have something for me. Yeah, okay. I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm open. In fact, let's all be open. Let's all be open to the revelation of Spirit right here and now for what it can bring into our lives. What is calling forth for you right now? Don't be afraid to go big. If it seems scary, take that. That's the good stuff. Go for the deep stuff right here and now. Go for the deep spiritual truth, because I know that there's this one life that is God's life expressed as each and every one of us. There's no more life in an ant than there is in an elephant. No more in the caterpillar than there is in the butterfly. No more in the man on the street as there is in the man in the boardroom or the woman in the boardroom. I'm simply knowing right here and now that this interdependent activity that is called life is lifted up and is deeply enriched by each and every one of us. And so as we stand in our power, as we accept the challenge, as we open to the opportunity, as we open to the unboundedness of ourselves and let go of the limitations and stop fighting the illumination and allow ourselves to be the demonstration of God on this planet Earth, I know we are lifted up and living in a space of peace, joy, and ease. There's a comfort in this knowledge, and there's a joy in this knowingness. There's an energy that flows in this beingness that allows us to step forth in gratitude for this power and this presence that is a part of who we are. Feeling deeply committed to this truth and knowing that it is true for each and every person within the sound of my voice, I release this prayer into a perfect law that hears this word and reveals it as the experiences of our life here and now, and so it is. Let's see. Take a breath. Hey, you know what, John? You are right. This thing is fun. That was way too soft. Okay. These are our various ways. The website, the texting. Someone told me this week they really enjoy doing the texting thing. I am so glad. You know, this is so great. I love Spirit because I forgot to tell you, Cheryl is in Chicago at the airport, no, in Houston, at the airport, watching us right now, and I wanted to mention that, and taking it off the airplane mode was thank you for reminding me, Siri, or whoever the hell you were, that Cheryl says hi. Turn around and wave to Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl. Yeah, our board president, she's so dedicated. She even watches from the airport. That's something else. That's something. That's so good. All right. The great thing about all this giving and how it supports the center is wonderful, but also the affirmation that we get to say each week is super, super powerful, that we share this statement or declaration of abundance, because not only is it for the center, not only is it for the world, but it's for you. It's for you. This is the beginning of this taking it to the street idea that we've been talking about. So here's the words. Let's do them together right here and now. I don't know. Is it not there? All right, we know it. How about it? Ready? Divine love. It's doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides everything for the world. Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley, and me now. Divine love. That's it. Divine love prevails. I love that. Okay, so now you can do the calendar of events thing. Carrie's going to play some wonderful music. The ushers are going to walk around and take your donation and your gift. You're going to bless the basket if you're an auto tither. Talk about all these different things that are happening. Keep your eyes on what's going on. And speak with your friends. Tell them some loving things about themselves, you know, some powerful affirmations about somebody you're next to. Thank you so much. Carrie, appreciate it.
Distance is no factor in treatment, right? So I bless what is given here. I bless all that is given and all that is received, knowing that it is empowering us to take it to the streets, and so it is.
This is our world. Let's fill it up with goodwill, sharing the love we feel. Isn't it time to be real? Sharing our truth opens our hearts and our eyes, moving to faith and pride, strengthens the faith deep inside.
Karie Hillery with one of your originals. I love that. Karie, we talked before before she's to be with us, and she writes a song almost every time right to the talk. So thank you for writing Take It to the Streets. It's beautiful. Oh, also, you got a new CD. You want to talk about that real quick? 2 CDs.
2 CDs.
What, you got a solo? And
I got a new pop CD, 19 cuts, all original stuff. And one that I did with Chris Pinnick, who used to share the stage with us here. Beautiful instrumental, conversation between hearts, a musical conversation between hearts. So we have a very limited run of CDs, but it is available for download. But I do have CDs here.
Okay, all right. So you'll be at the table outside. And thanks to the rest of the band, for Steve, for Saul, and for Bob. So great to have you here, Saul, today. Lane, thank you so much for your support. Service team, we've got Ron leading the team today, and Talene is back in the house on the service team. Thank you. Working with Becca. Fantastic. We've got, Colin's up in the booth. How about that? Gregory started, and Colin is a closer. All right. He's a roundup guy. That's beautiful, beautiful. John, thank you so much for the slides. I'll be looking for that polka song later. Appreciate that. John, thank you for stepping in on sound today, and I'm glad you're feeling better, Tony, because he was supposed to do sound, and John stepped in to support him. Deborah's doing the morning support. Really great to have Deborah on staff for helping us with that. That was wonderful. And they're already gone. Cheryl, Linda out there doing some kind of office support there for us. And then always Lena for our fellowship goodies. Thank you so much for that. Speaking of goodies, we're having pizza for you over at the meeting. We're going to start at noon in the classroom. So come on in for that. We'll be really quick. You got to come to find out. Whoa. Sound bath next week with Renee Lynn from Sonic Sounds. So that's going to be fun. Come on out for next Friday for that. John, please come up and tell us what you'll be doing after the service. Our practitioner of the day, Jon Newbill.
Let's see, what could I do?
It's up to you. It's all yours. Yep.
I think maybe I'll stand over by that door and see if anybody shows up that would like a treatment or 1 minute miracle or something.
Oh, 1 minute miracle treatment?
Something like that.
Would you like to do massage or something?
No massage. No hands off. But
that spiritual mind treatment thing.
That, yeah. Perhaps you've heard of it.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
They're very effective.
They are. I've been using them since I was 5.
Been using them since you were 5. That's it. I love it.
So I'll be there and see if anybody shows up.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Let's all stand, do our closing benediction, and we shall sing together again. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love. Mm-hmm.
God is doing something wonderful as me. God is doing something wonderful as me. Something awesome and incredible. Only He can get the glory. God is doing something wonderful, incredible and awesome. God is doing something wonderful as me. God is doing something wonderful as me. God is doing something wonderful as me. Something awesome and incredible. Only He can get the glory. God is doing something wonderful as me. God is doing something wonderful as me. God is doing something wonderful as me. Something awesome and incredible. Only He can get the glory. God is doing something wonderful, incredible and awesome. God is doing something wonderful as me.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. See you next week. Thank you for being here.
pages. Should I keep this for future reference, or do you want to keep it?